Hello, everyone. How's it going? Welcome back to our second chat here with you guys. I am so excited. We're going to be going over so many good things. I'm just making sure the camera is good so we're in a good position. I have a new floor cushion, so I'm just getting cozy. I am going to be going over the Venus retrograde. I know I talked about uncertain times. We're going to talk about manifestation in uncertain times. We're still doing that. But we're also going to be talking about how to be more positive in this time. So I cannot wait to jump in with you guys. If you guys don't know, hi, Mark. If you don't know, right now is Venus retrograde, and it's going to be for quite a bit until June. And I wanted to share with you guys a little bit more of how it will affect you depending on your sign. So I've got a lot of people asking me questions as far as angel numbers and numerology and manifestation and just like things that have been going on in their life that are dependent on personally with them. So I can't wait to go over. I wrote down a lot of stuff for you guys. I was just like journaling, and I was like, okay, I think this is good enough information. So if you're joining in, I see Mark is online. If there's anyone else, just say hello, where you guys are tuning in from. If you guys don't know me, it's your first time chatting with me. I'm Shika. I'm a travel lifestyle content creator, mentor, and owner of Blog It. And on this channel, we go over spirituality, angel numbers, manifestation, a lot of amazing things, as well as social media entrepreneurism. But my biggest goal is just to help people be more conscious in their everyday life. So if I'm doing that, that's great. If it's for a few people, that's awesome. Hello, Sophie. How are you? Hi, Santa. So nice to see everyone. Okay, so if you guys don't mind, share with me, what is your sign? Like, what is your, I guess, like your birth sign? For me, I'm a Scorpio in a moon of Leo. I don't know if anyone else knows their moon. If you don't, there's a lot of online websites that actually do the charts where you can search that up. But there's so many great information as far as what you can learn about your birth chart. So I do suggest, if you're wanting to go deeper into it, definitely go check it out. Feel free to ask any questions. It is like personalized and engaging while we're here. So for you guys who it's your first time, awesome, you're a Virgo. That's awesome, Mark. I'd love to hear everyone else's what their sign is. But that's great. I love that. So let's start off with retrograde. Retrograde, we get them every single time, but this is Venus retrograde. And the reason why it is so powerful is it only happens every 2 years. And basically, if you don't know what Venus retrograde is, it's basically when the planets are rearranging its order, which is really cool. They're basically, planets are moving backwards instead of forwards, and that kind of just crazy changes the energy. That's awesome. I'm a Scorpio too. I'm a moon Leo. So yeah, I just feel like it's just so interesting once we get to know, okay, what can we control for our emotions in the retrograde? So the first thing is we have Aries. Aries, and this is great also for people in your life. Maybe you have a partner, a lover, whatnot, that's in your life that is a different sign than you. You can kind of know what they're going through as well, which is really, really great. So the first thing we have is Aries. And for Aries, really where it is a lot of emotional issues going on, but there's also the sensual energy coming in for you. So being more creative in the sensual space, and where that is specifically the sacral chakra. So if you guys don't know, sacral chakra is our second chakra after our root chakra, and that is really for creativity, sensuality. It's a womb space essentially, and both men and women, we both have it, and it's so beautiful once we learn how to use that in our everyday life. So with Aries, if you know any Aries in your life, it's deep feelings and changes within themselves, emotions coming up. For a lot of signs, it's a lot of emotions that have been suppressed. But the biggest thing here that's different from the other ones is that really energizing and activating your sacral chakra. So that sensual kind of creative space. Then we have Taurus. Taurus, here with the planets, this is your planet sign. So basically what that means is, Venus is with Taurus, and basically it's really intense emotions. So you're going to probably feel it the most out of all the other signs. So that's why I also mentioned to you guys, check and see what your moon sign is. Like Mark, I would suggest checking and see what that is, because it does make a big difference if you know what your moon sign is. Also with Taurus, you might notice that finance energy might move. So as I mentioned before, everything is energy, from water, from what we eat, our bodies, the scarf, like everything is energy, this computer, this live. And basically how it works is your financial energy is going to be moving out. That's awesome, Mark. I'm also a Leo moon. So it's basically what that means is your energy is going to be moving around. So your finance energies might be better. And it also, if you're holding on to certain financial cords that have been going on, the Venus retrograde is going to really force you to see the truth within your finances. So that can be good. That's also great because it's just allowing you to flow more abundance to you if you're a Taurus. So this is really good to know if you're asking, like, Shika, like, what is this whole thing? Taurus, that's why. Then we have Gemini. Gemini is hard to make decisions right now. So just because, if you guys don't know, Geminis tend to have a lot of, like, I don't want to say bipolar, but they tend to have different personalities. They could be social, they could be introvert. They take a lot of characteristics from other signs. So with them right now, making decisions can be very hard. But right now is, they have to start making the hard decisions in their life. So this could be, the business, your relationship, if you want to continue being with that person. It could also be other things such as, where you want to do with your position or how you feel internally with your healing journey, which is really big. Gemini also is just really, you tend to be more of a heated emotion and sign. So finding ways to relax your emotions and not get too up and going, which is really big. So how can I relax myself? How can I make sure that I'm not feeling too worked up? And this is where the retrograde will really affect you. It will also show you where you need to work on. So if there's certain things that you feel like, I don't know what I need to work on, or I know I have work to do, but I don't know what it is, retrograde is going to show it to you right away. It's going to show it to you full force. There's not going to be any beating around the bush, and it'll be so loud in the sense of your intuition will really tell you so much with the energy of the planets working backwards that you really can't ignore it. So Gemini, just keep doing your work. Cancer, I love them. If you're a Scorpio, Cancer is like, are supposed to be the sign that we get along with the most. But here with Cancer, it's evaluating your relationships and situations. So situations in your career, like where are you at your career? Are you satisfied? Is it working towards your happiness of what you want to do? During these weeks, the Cancer sign is actually going to be more of an introvert. So you're going to be very introvert based, very to yourself. And that's okay. Like that is completely fine. You don't need to feel the sense of going out there and socializing with people, but that is for your own inner growth. So Cancer, it's a lot of inner work, a lot of healing, but specifically evaluating your relationship, intimate relationships, if you have one, and also just your finances. Now we have the Leo. So Mark, you'll be happy to hear this, and any other Leos out there. So platonic relationships. So kind of looking at your platonic relationships. What does that look like for you? Now, moon sign's usually what you are like when you're alone. Your sun sign, which is your main sign, is usually what you are in society and when people see you. So here with the platonic is like your platonic relationships. It could be within people you know or those that are going to be coming into your life. It's also talking about friendships. There might be friction with friendships right now with a lot of changes going on energetically with the earth and also with the retrograde. It's going to really stick out who's your real friends and who are the people that are not your friends. So this is a great opportunity for you to kind of sit down and observe. Just observe during this, let it kind of feel out. And it's a lot of doing cutting cords. So maybe some friendships that have not been fulfilling in the past. You're really starting to see it while we're at home right now. How supportive is this person in my life? You know what I'm saying? So that's very key for Leo, especially Leos have a very social energy to themselves. So friendships and the way people see them is a very important thing for a Leo. So really just thinking like, how can I cut those cords? How can I remove the people in my life that don't align with me right now? And I know it's difficult. It's like humans don't like change, right? We never like change. But that's going to be a big lesson that you're going to learn during the next few weeks. So the next thing I have is Virgo. So Virgos, Mark, this is yours. So confusion with desires. So really understanding like, what do you want? And these desires can be within your internal self, like what makes me happy. The desires can be in my relationships, what I want to communicate to my partner, so that throat chakra. It could be in your career, like kind of on a standing still, like I don't feel like things are moving. Do I stay here? Do I switch and do a completely different career? It could also just be energetically with desires, like what makes you happy? Because at the end of the day, as much as we want pleasures and things in our life, it really works on like what are we attaining to? And I always tell people when we're lost in our life, I always say like, what are you working towards in a happy life? Like, what's a happy life to you? Not the amount of money you want or whatever, but what would you be doing on a happy life day? So kind of explaining that, but just the confusion of like, what are those desires? Time to get stuff done. So there might be some things on the back burner that you haven't been able to do recently, or you've been kind of like putting off for quite a while. It's time to get them done. And I know it's very, very difficult, but do it. It's time. We all sometimes get worried about getting things done sometimes, and we don't want to get it done because of just like, procrastination. But in retrograde, it's going to force you to stop procrastinating and get it done. So, that could be anything from work, that could be anything from, taxes, whatever it may be, just getting your stuff done as much as possible. Libra. So Libra, this is your ruling planet is in Venus. Your ruling planets are not ruling planet. And for Libra, really what it comes down to is understanding, transformation that you cannot explain. You've been working through the winter. Libra has been working hard. There has been a lot of things that have happened traumatically and crazy for you. And this is your month. This is your month that you're going to make things happen. And everything you're going to do during retrograde is going to be things that make you happy. So whatever it is, you're just going to focus on you. And that's really awesome. So that's adding anything from yoga classes to meditation to upkeep your wellness, to make sure that you can get through Libra and just really focus on what do I want with my life? Like, what do I want to work on? And what is my main focus? Then we have Scorpio. So I love Scorpio. So Scorpio here is think about your actions. So instead of acting during the retrograde, it's time to observe. It's time to kind of set boundaries. So kind of seeing, okay, I can't give so much of my energy to people. It's time to kind of sit back and say, okay, what should I be focusing on? What should be my priority right now? And it's also talking about reflecting and healing. And personally, as a Scorpio, I will say that's definitely something I've been feeling. I don't know if that's something that you guys have been feeling as well, or any of the things that I've said so far. But with retrograde, I definitely feel like I've been getting some deep inner healing. Like I've been transforming my space. You guys don't see it. I'll be posting a video soon. Creating plants everywhere because I know I need to be grounded during this time. I know that is very important during my healing process in a space where I work, meditate, and get a workout in or do yoga. So I've been really trying to change the feng shui. And with changing your space, this is a big thing with Scorpio, or a lot of the signs that I've said that are transformational. It's time to change the energy around the house. So just simple things as like moving things around, moving where the bed is, moving where the table is. Like this is a time to move it so you can give more space and have a new, fresh energy to yourself. Like energy doesn't come only within yourself, in your body, but also in your surroundings. So being at home so much, it's very important for us to focus on that, especially considering this only happens every 2 years, and it is a very big deal. Sagittarius. So Sagittarius is where your ex-lovers will come into your life. So this is kind of where, sometimes you might have a text message from your ex and you're kind of questioning, oh, if you're in a relationship, like where am I at? Like I still have this emotional attachment here, and it's kind of time for you to do some relationship clearings, cleansing, and disconnecting cords. So past emotions may come. If it's not based on lovers, it might be based on traumas. It might be based on people who hurt your heart space, at least like people that you've had relationships with. And this is a time for your past emotions to fully come up on the surface. So it's time not to suppress it, but to feel it out, release it. And I talk about that in my other videos before. So that's something that resonates with you. Definitely check that out. And time to also just make decisions based on the reflection. So as you're going through these emotions, deciding if you ever want to feel that way again, and deciding that, after all this pain that has brought you up to relive these emotions again, is it worth it? Is it worth going through all that? So that's the retrograde explanation. I wanted to keep it really simple yet to the point. I really hope that it kind of aligns with you guys and you feel a connection to it. I'm going to go into how to manifest during uncertain times, which is the main part of the video. And I'm looking forward to sharing with you guys. If you have any questions, please, or even statements, feel free to share them in the box. But manifesting in uncertain times is something that came up to me during meditation. So I was meditating the other day and I was thinking, man, a lot of people, I've been getting a lot of questions during readings on Instagram and just in general and comments. People saying it's very hard to stay positive during this time. I feel like I'm moving and I'm working, but nothing's actually moving in my space. Like I feel like I'm stagnant, but things are still going on in life. And I get that. That's been something that has been on a lot of people's minds and something that I've been maintaining to change that consciousness and change that mindset by not taking on people's energies and thoughts on that. So I wrote down 5 ways to kind of think about and tips on manifesting during uncertain times. And this could be as big as money or maybe a career, or I know Mark said lottery was one of them. It could be as big as, manifesting relationship, whatever it may be, a specific person. It could also be as simple as manifesting some inner deeper healing in certain spaces of your body. So I'd love to hear from you guys, like, where are you manifesting? What is some places in your body right now that you are manifesting, or like things that you're manifesting right now? What are you working on? I'd love to hear from you. I think that's very, very helpful. If you guys know where you're trying to work on, that's the best. So the first thing I have is understanding how it is affecting you. I think this is one of the biggest things. Like, how is this whole situation affecting you right now? Understanding what is affecting you, what emotions are coming up, because most likely those emotions were always there. They're just heightened due to the circumstances. So I always tell people, like, reflecting inward, like, what do I need to do? What do I need to work on within myself? And it's hard. It really, really is. However, it can also be easy if you do the inner work and you just keep going at it. So I do talk about that, understanding how it affects you. I think that's very important. Writing it down. I like to write it down, not only like meditate and be like, oh, this is what it's affecting me. Because if you just say it in thought, it's better if you see it as well. That visualization is really going to put it in there. The next thing I have is really understanding how to feel and accept your emotions. And one of my mentees, I was talking to her, she just got diagnosed with something and it has changed her lifestyle. Like, it has changed the aspect of how she can cook now because she won't be able to have certain things that she loves. And we kind of went through a clearing and whatnot and just helping her energy. But one of the things that came up and I wanted to share with you guys is that when emotions and things happen like that, it's for the universe is working with you to challenge you to your biggest and best potential. And I know it's hard when you are like thinking about it and you're going through it. You're like, man, why is the universe doing all this against me? But it's not. What it's doing is it's removing anything that energetically doesn't serve you. Think about the last thing that you were like really mad about emotionally. It was either 2 things. It was because it probably reminded you of something in the past, or it was because it removed something out of your life and you were trying to hold everything together while it's crumbling. And the universe said, this is a waste of time. It's time to move that away. It's time to move on to a new journey. It's time to separate everything that you did already, right? You really have to think about, how can I remove these emotions? How can I separate them completely? If you're not doing that, you're going to be the painter of your emotions. We're always the painter of our emotions, whether it's things that we don't even have control of, which we technically do, that come into our life or happen to us. So understanding like what exactly that is. The third thing I have is practicing in general. Question. So I'll read this. So, I got a job out of the blue. Then a healthcare worker came to me and to see my dad and positive in COVID. So I have to call them and tell them I had to wait for now in limbo. That's fine. Like, if it's meant to happen, like if your job is meant to happen, that position is meant to happen, it will work. Right? You don't have to hold it. And another thing too is depending on your energy, you have to think positive, like you speaking as if saying the job, like if you were to say to me, just writing it and affirming it in the universe, saying this job is going to work out. Right now I'm going through a lot, but it's going to happen. It's going to work out. It's just a little hiccup in the blue kind of thing. But they will wait for me. They will wait for me. If you say that, the universe is going to take that positive emotion and make sure that they can hold it up for you. You have to also understand, because right now everything's on pause, it gives us an opportunity to have control of situations more, even though we feel like we don't. What I mean by that is like allowing yourself to say, hey, my dad is a priority. His health is a priority, and I need to be there for him. There's no money or whatever that can ever pay me or equate to the relationship of my father. You know what I mean? There's always going to be other times. But if it's the right time for you, it's better for that. It's better for you to wait for it and for them to wait for you. And if it doesn't work out, then you end up having another job that the universe has lined for you. But what I would suggest is you're the dictator, you're the painter of your emotions, you're the painter of your what happens in your life. So decide on, you know what, it's going to work out. I'm going to work on my dad and like focus on him, give him the energy he needs for him to heal from COVID, and he's going to get through it. And then I'm going to, have this job. This job is going to wait for me. They understand. They're aligned with me. It's going to work out. You keep telling yourself that and removing the fear of what's going to happen and that fear of unknown. It's going to be very hard for both situations, not just for your dad, healing, but also for the fact of the job. So you just want to make sure that you're keeping your vibration high. That is so, so important. And by doing that is just checking in and allowing yourself to have those affirmations that I talk about quite a bit. So hopefully that helps you out, Mark. Practicing what you want to manifest, what you preach. No worries, Mark. So what I mean by that, by practicing your manifestations, is pretending like you already have it. And I know, like, regardless, just going with already having. I don't want to say pretend, acting, though it is already happening for you energetically. If you're not doing that, it's going to be, again, difficult for you to sustain that emotion, to sustain that energy. I think that's very crucial. The last two that I have is to surrender, not to hold anything up. So I see a lot of people holding things by a string, their relationships, not releasing their emotions as much as they should. And it's causing there to be friction within the space. So asking yourself, how can I not hold up these emotions to the point that, it's not worth it. It's really not worth it. And I see a lot of people hurting themselves more, holding on to things that don't fully serve them at this time. So it's time for us to kind of just be not afraid of the uncertainty, take the leap, like I talked about in this video, take the leap, accept change, and surrender. So whether that's surrendering to your dad with COVID, whether that's surrendering to a job, whether it's surrendering to an opportunity, whether it's surrendering to your own emotions that were suppressed. I think that's very important. Last is healing. The inner healing is so important. And I just want to say that, I'm just going to drink my juice. I just want to say that inner work is more important than anything. I've been spending the last 3 weeks doing a lot of deep rooted emotional work that was there for a very, very long time. And it was very hard for me to do it, going and reliving my traumas, reliving, the thoughts that I had that were there. Even when you're like manifesting and you keep on pushing on something, sometimes because your manifestation is not fully aligned with your thoughts or visually, and you still have that doubt of there's a possibility. Remove that possibility that it won't happen. Put that possibility that it will completely happen, and the universe will happen and will make it work. Today's video is actually going to be talking about a manifestation that I did, and with 1 week, I ended up getting all of the paths in order to get that manifestation. And again, I just want to share with you guys that we are our painters, and it could be as quickly as manifesting water right now. But we need to do the inner work. Without the inner work, it's going to be very hard for you to be able to do whatever you want to manifest. It's going to be very difficult. Like, who's going to be able to be attracted to your energy if you don't do that work? It's just going to be suppressed. It's going to get bigger and bigger. And I hear a lot of people who go and take that job and then they fall sick and they have no other option, but the doctor's orders is to stay home for a year. So it's important right now, while we have the time, to manifest the inner work so we can attract a lot. And I'm attracting and manifesting things every single day. People, opportunities, my business. It's been quickly going and growing. And it's not because that I'm like sitting there and like praying and like meditating for like 24 hours. No, I'm acting as if it's already happening. I'm holding the emotion of that meditation, that state of being that we have in meditation throughout my day. And I remind myself of doing it. I do like 5-minute sessions every time. Like after this live, I go and sit for 5 minutes and breathe. I sit with breath. I see what I need to release if there's anything. And then I celebrate what I don't, celebrate my mindset, and keep holding that emotion. So I think that's so important. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm going to do a card reading and set up and whatnot quickly, but I just feel like it is so important at this time that we really just check in and not be so hard on ourselves. Be motherly. I kept getting this card for a lot of people saying mother yourself. And the reason why is because we don't. We don't mother ourselves enough. We don't love ourselves the way that we need to love ourselves. And, how can people, things, and opportunities love us and attract to us if we don't love? Like I tell people, the emotion that we only hold in this world is love. And when we're manifesting things into our life, especially in uncertain times, we need to manifest love. Like that is the one thing that's going to eliminate anger, sadness, betrayal, revenge. These are all kind of emotions that evolve from experiences, that evolve from a body pain, a pain body that has gone through something very memorable that keeps and holds them from a lot of things that they can accept in their life. So I hope that helped you guys out. I can't wait to do the reading. So if you'd like a reading, just say me and I'll pull a card for you. I'm super excited. Super duper excited. Also, let me know if you have any thoughts on that, because I'd love to hear your thoughts. Yeah, sure, Mark. It's crazy. Ooh, okay. Well, you have a card that fell out, right? Okay. I always love doing readings. They're so relaxing. I actually might, if you guys don't mind, I'm actually going to put some music on. I find it helps a lot, just making people feel a little bit relaxed. And it also lets me tune into your energy a little bit easier. So I always put some, but there's always ads. Okay. There we go. Okay. Okay. Oops. Okay. So you have one card. Yeah, I'll do a love reading for you, Sephi, after Mark's. Okay, so we have 3 cards for you. One of them fell out, Mark. So we have the seeding light, laying foundations to the divine plan, which is interesting because we talked about not procrastinating in the retrograde. So that's really interesting. Then we have the empaths, highly sensitive to connect to nature, and your guidance is divinely guided. So here it's just really telling you exactly what the retrograde talked about, but seeding the light and laying the foundation. So how are you laying the foundation for yourself? How are you laying the foundation for who you are divinely? And how can you kind of build on that as well as understanding that we all kind of need to plant our seeds at this time. And for you, it's planting your seeds of working on those things and getting the work done. So getting the work done and supporting your dad, getting the work done and believing that that job will work out, and being there for your family at this time. That's not only your dad, but just your family in general. I think that's really needed at this time. You are quite empathic, so I do feel that, and ever since you've been on the channel here, I've talked about that, but you are quite connected to nature and connected to source, just because everyone is, but some people allow it more than and are more open than others. So here it's just really talking about how can you connect to nature more? How can you connect to source? How can you connect in general? I think that's super, super crucial. And allowing yourself to connect with nature, to get the answers of what you need to do next for your plans that you have during this retrograde. And then also knowing that you're always divinely guided. I feel like you do know your path. I think you know what to do, but there's some times when you feel doubt, like you're doubtful of what's going to happen. You're doubtful of if you can make it work, and get the stuff that you want done, and even doubtful of, the support of helping family right now and what's going on. But you need to keep strong. You need to keep kind of putting intention for your family, for their health, for what's going on. You also have to keep putting intention into Mother Earth. So simple things as being outside. I talk about grounding quite a bit, but being outside or having plants in the house can really help elevate your energy so you can stick to those plans and support your family at this time. Because with supporting and energy, it solves everything. Energy can really help heal people a lot. And there's a lot of amazing manifestation stories that I've heard of just people putting the intention of picturing that person feeling healed and rejuvenated and supported and divinely kind of guided, and having their guides. So having your guides and calling onto your guides to support at this time while you're stressed. But really just staying on top of it and making sure that you're grounding with nature to help with your wellness on a daily basis. That's very important for you as an empath. So I hope that aligned with you. Mark, let me know what your thoughts are. And Safi, I'm going to do yours next. Safi. Okay, so we have 4 cards for you, Safi. So awesome. Oops. Another one that's possible as well, that just fell out. A lot of cards. So love life. Ooh. Okay, so you have a lot going on, and it's really, really direct. So first thing is tuning into your heart. So talking about your love. In order for you to tune, you need to manifest the person that you want. And by doing that, it's tuning into your heart of how do you feel about yourself first? Are you open to love? Because sometimes we want love, but we're not fully open because of our past experiences. So here is this card that you got. It's a temple of devotion. How are you devoting yourself to loving yourself and opening your heart and creating more energy in your heart? So I really suggest working on balancing your heart chakra before giving it out. Because I always tell people you can't give out of an empty cup. Here where it's talking to you for your love life is just making sure that you're tuning in, tapping in, which is very important. And why that is because I think you need to trust that you're going to find love. I think in the past, you've had people that didn't treat you well. Like I did get this card, which is the unbound. And why that came in is because I do feel from your past relationships, you still have to do a clearing. There are still connections to the past exes that you had, or the past people that you've opened your heart to that have hurt you. And maybe you fully put yourself into it and you're kind of afraid of trusting someone else. And in doing that, the universe only gives you what you have. So if you're not fully open to meeting someone, they won't give it to you. And by doing that, it's once you've unleashed and cleared and forgived your past relationships, you'll be able to create boundaries. And what boundaries mean is also boundaries of what you want in someone, but boundaries for yourself. Do I want someone to treat me? What am I going to say no to? And what am I going to say yes to? Like scripting that out. What is the love of your life or the person that you want to find? Because I think that's very important. And if you're in a relationship right now, it's probably telling you that your past relationships is causing you, or if you have like someone you're dating, your past relationships are holding you back from opening your love or your heart more with this person. And you need to just communicate more boundaries to that person as well. So either or, I'm not sure. Are you in a relationship, Safi? Are you not in a relationship? Let me know. And in doing that, in order for you to let go of those contracts and those past patterns of the type of people you've been attracting, you need to make sure that you can trust your path. So trust your path, trust who you are. I think that's so important. If we don't trust our path, how can we be able to open our space to love? How can we trust ourselves to open our heart to other people? So I think that's super important. Yeah, so if you're working in your relationship, it's really telling you that I think your past relationship is causing you to have this kind of, I want to say, resistance to certain parts of your love life. And in doing that, you really need to communicate. Communication is really big. Communicate what's going on in your heart. Communicate how you're feeling with your partner. I know at this time we are spending excessive time with people. That can be very different. And in doing that, they can either bring people closer or further apart. And it's very, very important that we're using our throat chakra to communicate what we've had in the past and what we don't want to have again, and working on establishing boundaries in our relationship of what you want in someone. That's about it. Putting my family and my dad first, not feeling guilty about job. And yeah, I think that's what I felt with yours, Mark. I think that's really important. I'm going to respond to that in a second just because I'm in Safi's energy. So I want to respond to it in a proper way for you. So yeah, I just think that that's so important. And the next thing is energetic upgrades. So new ways of being integrated. So once you release this unbound of this relationship, once you release these past, and keep in mind, sometimes the relationships, and what I feel like this relationship issue that you're having right now, this isn't the first time. You've had it in past lives. So it's talking about past patterns. It's happened in your soul before, and it's in your duty and during this time to try and find what that is. What exactly is that issue? Awakening energetic upgrades and new ways of being integrated. So here it's just saying once you've done that, you're going to be free. You're going to be able to be fully open with your relationship. Your temple is going to be aligned, and you're going to go through an awakening where you're just going to feel the most love that you've ever done before. So I really suggest doing a heart chakra cleansing and tapping into your heart and working on bringing it, opening it up, and asking yourself, what are those past contracts and how can I create boundaries in my relationship to strengthen it for both of us? I think that's super, super important. And trust in the universe that this is supposed to happen. Trust that your relationship is going to work out. So I hope that helps and resonates with you, Safi. I can do another question reading if you'd like for either one of you guys. If you have another question, I can pull another one for you because I actually didn't plan on doing readings, but I always feel called to sometimes depending. So if you have another question, let me know. If not, I can just do a collective one before we end. No worries, Safi. I'm really happy that that helped you out and you felt the guidance that you needed. I'm super, super happy it helped you. So just let me know there's any other ones. I'll be doing other ones today on Friday on my live on Instagram. So if not, I'm going to do a collective one, and then that should be good for a live. So I'll do a collective reading. So if you just want to like close your eyes and just breathe, focus on breath. I'll pull one for all of us. So I want you to take a deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Focusing on breath, focusing on our energy. Focusing, being kind to yourself. Okay, so we have 3 cards. I might pull another one depending. Let's see. So we have Mirror, what is triggering you? What is your soul calling? Initiation. So I think this is perfect for the group. So what is triggering you right now? What is causing you to feel emotional during this time? What is bringing up some things that you either have heard of or things that you didn't know were there? Here is asking you, what is your soul calling you to do? Our decisions and our answers within ourselves are always there. We just have to decide if we want to accept it, if we want to listen to it. And that's what it's asking you. So whether that is, opening your heart to love, or understanding that your soul will support your family member going through an illness, I think it's important for us to know that that's our soul calling. And what is our soul calling? Initiation is, once we've been able to follow that, we'll be able to be given 2 options, and not one or the other is wrong. It's all dependent on what brings you happiness. And I think this is what the Venus retrograde is really teaching us, is what's bringing us happiness, what is a priority within ourselves, not for other people, but being selfish during this time to kind of sit, reflect, figure out what it is, follow our soul and what our soul and our higher self would do. Always ask yourself, what would my higher self do? And asking yourself for a rite of passage. And I think that's so important. So I think that's a beautiful one for you guys. I really hope you enjoyed this card reading, this session. Please let me know if you have any other questions. I'm going to be posting our videos super soon, so I'm sure you guys are subscribed already, but if you didn't, you can subscribe. And I will do another one next Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern time, same time. I'm going to see if this time works the best for people, if we're going to change it. And then, I think I'll do either a reading or we'll do another one. Any suggestions are needed, so if you guys would like another one, that'd be great. I can't wait to share the video as well. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate you guys. I hope you have a lovely, lovely day, and I'll see you in our other video. Bye.